We are back. I need an adjournment from executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Can I have a roll call?
Commissioner Vedder,
Aye.
Commissioner Simmons,
Aye.
Mayor Lee,
Aye.
Commissioner Homan,
Aye.
Commissioner DeBras.
Aye.
Next on the agenda is a motion to approve the business agenda. And that includes the rules of conduct.
Mayor, I move that we approve the business agenda.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Next is the consent agenda.
Approval of minutes from the September 16th, 2025 regular city commission meeting. Proclamation, the Public Power Week, October 5th through 11th, 2025. And the proclamation, Omega Sci-Fi Achievement Week, November 16th through 22nd, 2025.
All right. Any comment on the consent agenda? I'll ask for a motion.
I would.
Oh, well, Commissioner Vedder wants to read the proclamation for Public Power Week. Go right ahead, sir.
This is a proclamation recognizing Public Power Week, October 5 through October 11 of this year, 2025. Whereas the citizens of Piqua place a high value on the benefits of locally controlled utility, and therefore operate a community-owned, not-for-profit electric utility. And whereas the Piqua Municipal Power System provides our homes, businesses, schools, and social services and local government agencies with safe, reliable, and efficient electricity, and employs sound business practices designed to ensure the best possible service at a not-for-profit rate. And whereas the Piqua Municipal Power System is a part of the mutual aid network that spans the surrounding states and country, providing invaluable support in times of natural disaster while maintaining life-saving electricity to homes and businesses. And whereas the Piqua Municipal Power System is a dependable and trustworthy institution whose local operation provides many consumer protections and continues to make our community a better place to work and live. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Piqua Municipal Power System will continue to work to bring safe, reliable electricity to the community homes and businesses, just as it has since 1933, and the year when the utility was created to serve all the citizens of Piqua. And be it further resolved that the week of October 5 through 11 be designed as Public Power Week to recognize Piqua Municipal Power System for its contributions to the community and to educate customer owners, policymakers, and employees on the benefits of public power. And be it further resolved that our community joins hands with over 81 municipal systems in Ohio and over 2,000 other public power systems in the United States in this celebration of Public Power Week, which is best for consumers, businesses, community, and the nation. And I am happy to make this proclamation on behalf of the mayor. So we're designating this Public Power Week, and RJ Monier is here to be the representative for that. So we're happy for that.
Nice.
Very good. Thank you. Round of applause.
Thanks, RJ. No clapping. Oops, sorry.
Other way.
That's the mic, it looked like it unplugged.
I need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Mr. Mayor, before we
Oh, go
proceed
ahead.
with that, I have a question, kind of a technical question here that I'd like to ask our law director.
Yep.
My question is regarding the minutes. And while I know that nothing that is said or talked about in executive session is subject to the minutes, especially when it's dealing with litigation. Does it need to be documented whom was present in the room on the commission, or if anyone had to recuse themselves?
No, I do not believe that it does.
Thank you.
All righty. A motion for the consent agenda.
Mayor, I'd move that we adopt the consent agenda.
Second?
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. On to old business, and there is none. Now we're up to new business, and resolution number R-106-25.
A resolution to set ward boundaries for annexations within the city of Piqua.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Commission. The resolution before you, R-106-25, is a resolution to set the ward boundaries for the annexations that have occurred since 2020. As part of the structure that we have in Piqua, we are obligated to have each parcel, as it is annexed into our jurisdiction, have a ward designation. That generally happens as part of our annexation resolution. There is a whereas clause that would be added, and since 2020, that is, we have not had that whereas clause, so this cleans up all of those annexations that have occurred since 2020. It provides a ward boundary designation to those parcels, and it also obligates us as we move forward for any future annexations to have a whereas clause that clearly designates the ward boundary to that parcel. So with that, you will see there are individual parcels, acreages, and then the year they were annexed in the resolution that authorized that annexation, and then it clarifies what ward boundary that it is put into. Generally, the staff has utilized the fact that it is next to, particularly in these cases, it is next to a similar ward. I will note every 10 years by charter, we are obligated to redistrict our wards. So in 2030, all of these will be based again upon the population of growth in the city of Piqua. So again, most of these are pretty simple. There's nothing that's bounds two different wards or is challenging to a ward. And the majority of these do not have residential currently. There are two that do have homes, but the majority of the annexations do not have any residential properties and therefore do not impact our ability or those people's ability to vote in an election. But with that said, you can see the parcel IDs, the address, the acreage, years annexed, the resolution that authorized it, and the proposed wards. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to address them.
Any questions from commission?
In section 2, this resolution shall take effect and be enforced from and after the earliest period allowed by law. What is that actual start date were this to pass tonight?
I would have to default to our law director.
I believe it's 10 days.
10 days, yeah.
10 days? Okay.
Any other questions from commission? Nope. Tim Heisler. Thanks. She declined the question. She's going to pass on this one. So with that said, I need a motion to approve that resolution.
Mayor, I would move that we approve resolution R-106-25.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor of resolution number R-106-25, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is resolution number R-107-25.
A resolution authorizing the renewal of lease of 8620 North County Road 25A.
Good evening. This lease is for what is commonly known as the Russo Building. This is what houses our 12 employees and all their equipment for the Underground Utilities Department. This will be going into our 7th and 8th year at this location for this lease. every 2-year block. It's been a couple percent raise. It's been very reasonable on the cost of the lease. And we are looking to get it approved for 26 and 27, and I will take any questions you have.
Has there ever been a plan to build them their own facility?
We've had 3 or 4 potential facilities fall through over the years of maybe where we could locate sanitation, parks, get everybody in the one spot. There's, potential to maybe get them at the water plant or the wastewater plant in the future, but no clear plans as of right now.
Any other questions from commissioners?
Where does the money for this lease come? What accounts?
This is split 40-40-20 between water, sewer, and storm, and that's pretty much how the employees in those facilities are broken up as well.
Kim Heisler.
I just got a question on this. Because it seems like we're buying land everywhere else. Why don't we try to buy that facility? I mean, 8 years at close to $6,000 or $6,300 a month. I mean, by the end of year 8, it's like $606,000, roughly around that, not including the percentages from each time. It just seems like if we're wanting to buy all this other land, I mean, why don't we try to be smart about it and purchase it? Or, I mean, I know you're looking at other sites, but money doesn't grow on trees.
Nope.
We need to be looking at how to save our money as constituents, so. Have we ever talked about that?
He just said 3 or 4 times.
That we've tried to purchase that? Have
No,
we asked?
there've been 3 or 4 different plans to
Yes.
get their own facility.
Have they tried
I'll
to
ask.
purchase? Yes, okay.
Specifically. Have you ever tried to purchase their own facility?
I don't think it's up for sale, honestly. I think he's renting it and
Have we ever-
other portions of it, so.
Have we ever tried to purchase land aside from that? to
No,
build
we've
our
looked at
own?
other buildings that were kind of
Right.
empty and that maybe we could remodel and get into. Those
Is
have
it
been the ones we've
possible that
looked
we
at.
could look at?
We could. I mean, I would like to also mention too that there's a lot wrapped into that money. There's natural gas, heating, trash, there's other components, water, there's other utilities in there, so it is not just an outlay of money. It's money that would have been spent if we own the facility as well, some of the money that's wrapped into that rent.
Is that something we can consider in the future, though?
I mean, we're currently looking at a facility, and like I said, I believe back before I started, so 2020, they were gonna hire someone to build a building for them. That just came to a halt in COVID, so it's an ongoing goal that just hasn't risen to being needed.
Okay. Any other questions from commissioners? I will entertain a motion then.
Mayor, I would move that we adopt Resolution R-107-25.
Second?
Moved and seconded. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. Next is, all right. Twice, R-108-25.
A resolution authorizing a contract with D&B Construction Group for a meter replacement program.
Yes, this is the last part of our ongoing saga of purchasing and replacing our water meters that failed prematurely. This went out for bid for the installation of 1,000 water meters by December 15th. 8 people bid on it. They were scored based on price, experience, performance, workload, and D&B turned out to be the highest scoring of all those combination of qualities, and we were looking to get them on board and approved to begin installing these very shortly and have them all 1,000 changed out by December 15th, which is kind of a target for outdoor work with freezing and stuff. So I'll take any questions.
Did the utility board give an opinion on this?
We haven't had a utility board meeting since June 11th, and all this has transpired after that. So no utility board we haven't had a meeting.
Probably due to lack of attendance.
Oh, well, the utility board is gone now, so June.
I know it's
June
gone
11th.
now, but
It was our last meeting. But this was in the appropriations, the money to do this and the meter purchase. It had 3 readings, about a month ago with Jerry, so we vetted this out and we're ready to get these installed and increase our accuracy of measuring water usage.
Any other questions?
Under budget.
Kim Heisler?
So you had mentioned there's like 1,000 meters. Is there some place that those 1,000, like we can tell where, are those like residential corporations, businesses? Sorry. Is there any way we can tell? I'm like, is it possible that mine's not working right? Or how do we know what those 1,000 are? What determines?
What does determine, I mean, do we hold those in reserve, or?
Can stop that
When they
time?
stop reading values,
Yeah.
we need to replace, and
We
they
need to
don't come
replace
back on, we need to replace them. The batch of 2017 meters that were installed, mostly 90% of our meters are residential anyway, so it's mostly been the residential failures from the ones that were installed in 2017.
So how actually then how do you meter that? And actually, you can wait till my time's up. How is that actually metered if they failed? How is that possible? And then with all these electric meters swapped out, are you guys looking to actually add one in places that didn't have them before, where water should be monitored, but it's not? Yeah, I guess where can we find a list? And then, yeah, how are folks being charged for the usage if they're faulty? And what kind of time frame? I think you had mentioned before they had like a longevity. What was that longevity? And then also with the new ones coming in, is there a longevity to that also? Is it like a proverbial every 10-year type thing? Because that seems kind of costly. I don't think the manual ones, if we had them, were like that at all. Sometimes technology is a hindrance and takes longer and costs lots more money.
So what determines, how do you know that it's failed? How do you know it's not like
The
every
automatic
month?
reads that we get every so often a day, they just show up zeros.
Okay. Is
And,
there nothing else that would determine or show
No,
that?
there's a
it's-
couple things that can fail, the actual meter that spins and captures it, and then there's the MTU on top that sends the signal out, so there's potential 2 things that could fail.
Okay.
but you're able to do a manual read on them if they're not transmitting? You go out like in person and look at them?
Yes, and sometimes when when it does not transmit it, it's still capturing the data, it's just not, the battery's dead and not transmitting the reads to our system around the city. There's a couple different ways it can fail, and
So-
there's a couple different ways we can find out what's wrong.
All right.
But when that happens, you just go out and look at it in person?
Well, there's been so many of them, that's why we put this list, and that's why we designated $350,000 to begin to start fixing them. As how we bill people now, there are a lot of estimates being done manually from the last few months of usages, or the prior, like last August, how much did you use at that house? So there's been a lot of estimate reads until we can get the meter out, capture the data off the old meter, get the person either caught up, get their billing caught up, and then the new meter is in. As to the warranties, these all come with warranties. I believe the original ones were 15 years, and then when they failed early, we would take them out, we'd send them back, they'd give us credit towards the next ones. There's a degradation each year, so if you get 10 years out of the 15, and then you send it back in, they will give you so much off the next meter. These newer ones we're going to are called ultrasonic, they're supposed to pick up the low level. It's a technology that wasn't vetted in 2017. It's a much better technology, gets the low-level reads better, and these are saying they have 20 years, but like any warranty, I don't know how you are, but do you ever really get what a warranty says? And that's why we have these provisions to take them out, send them back to them, and get replacements in their stead.
So are we gonna put any of these new ones in places where they're not right now?
I don't even know how to answer that.
Yeah.
I really don't know where a place would be that's not being metered right now that we would even know about.
Maybe some new homes, I guess? I
All
don't
new
know.
homes get new meters.
Yeah. Okay,
So I'm not really sure
I don't,
what that referenced.
any other questions to the commission? I will take a motion then.
Mayor, I would move that we adopt Resolution R-108-25.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Next on our agenda is resolution number R-109-25.
A resolution authorizing the submittal of applications for federal IIJA funds and authorizing the city manager to submit applications to the Miami Valley Regional Planning Commission.
Good evening again, Mayor and Commission. This resolution is from our engineering division, and this is a resolution requesting approval to apply for MVRPC STP Surface Transportation Program funding for an intersection, Farrington and Washington. In August of this year, the Ohio Department of Transportation completed a feasibility study, safety study for that intersection with the Miami County Engineer's Office. As part of that feasibility study, they looked at the safety of that intersection, and it actually was ranked the number 66 most unsafe intersection in the state of Ohio. It is the most unsafe intersection in Miami County. That intersection then was reviewed for solutions, which they look at different alternatives. The first alternative is the no build, which is the existing condition. They looked at a number of other alternatives, and the recommendation from that feasibility study was to install a single lane roundabout at that intersection. And they put forward a pathway to get funding to achieve that solution. So with that, this request would allow the city to apply to the Miami Valley Regional Planning Commission to be put on what is known as the Ellis program in the state of Ohio, which would authorize us over the next 3 years to be able to go through the process to receive 50% of the funding for the cost of that solution. So what you will see before you is a resolution authorizing us to enter into, to apply for those funds through MVRPC and to be placed onto or into Ellis. If there are any questions about the project, about the timeline or the funding mechanism, I'd be happy to address anything.
So the grant would be for half the cost?
Correct. That is the way that the project works, is it is a 50-50 local match.
And the total cost?
The total cost is our local match is 2.47, so the total cost is $4.8 million.
Attending MVRCP meetings, do we have any sense about where this might rank in terms of other projects in the area?
So the advantage of being the 66th most dangerous intersection in the state of Ohio is we will score extremely high. The solution that they proposed is their solution, so we will score much, much higher than we would if we said we wanted to just do a turn lane or a stoplight. Those two alternatives are not as safe as their proposed alternative. And from our perspective, since we are only an owner, from the city's perspective, of 1/4 of that intersection, this gives us enough time to work with our partners in the area to figure out a funding solution for that other half. So we would very likely work with, again, when you get put in these programs, the likely construction date would not be until 2028. So that gives us the timeline to know how we can achieve funding a project such as this. And if we were not to be able to receive the funding we would not be obligated to move forward with the project.
What, is there any statistics or test cases for what a change of an intersection like that to, what is proposed, what the decrease in the danger level is, decrease in traffic accidents?
So there is a study that I put, or that Kenton put with this. There's an exhibit attached. So they've done a number of those alternatives. They've shown level of service based on the turning radius, the options that are available to them. So yes, the engineering team from Carpenter Marty did that traffic impact study.
Is there, you had mentioned that the city doesn't control all of that intersection, but on the parts that we do, is there anything that we can do cheaply in the interim, like for instance, a slow down sign or a rumble strip to try to pad out the difference for that few years while we're waiting?
Yeah, I would love to say that signage is the solution, but if you've driven through that intersection, I think you could put a baseball sign. I mean, there's nothing, unfortunately, it isn't visibility. It isn't, a number of the things where if it was something that was simple, it could be solved. You could turn it into a four-way stop, which would be the cheapest alternative, but the study, as it shows, it is not a safe solution. Yeah, I mean, we could also do LED flashers. I mean, there's a number of things we could try to do in the short term. I will note, we are also working with Miami County to try to understand the maintenance agreements in the area. So we will be working with them to try to find a solution in the short term, medium term, and long term.
Yeah, I would strongly encourage that a shorter term, cheaper solution be implemented while we wait for this more robust solution.
That's a lot of money.
And I think there are rumble strips out there, if I'm not mistaken. I thought they're heading west on.
Yeah, I don't believe so.
Okay, I thought they were.
That's the highway going out towards Versailles. They got
No.
If you get too far to the right or to the left, sometimes there's some rumbles. Right. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Now this is Washington at Farrington, not 185.
right.
Correct.
The closest,
Oh, sorry.
the closest I've come, I use that, and I told you earlier that I use that intersection quite a bit because we live down that area. And the closest I've come to an accident is going up Farrington and being at the stop sign, and you have to wait for, traffic both ways. But someone wasn't paying attention on their phone probably, and almost rear-ended me and wound up driving off the side of the road. That fortunately they missed me, but if we put four-way stop there, you're still gonna have that danger.
And the history of that intersection is such that most people, we will put a stop sign, we could put a lot of different we can do a lot of things, but people just have done it for so long that it also will still be unsafe. So the answer is the solution that is provided. The cost is obviously always a consideration for us. Again, with the timeline that we have, we do believe that we can get the funding available or potentially receive additional funding from ODOT, since it is as highly ranked, or will likely be as highly ranked as it is.
There have been several fatalities out there at that intersection over the years. I have a high school friend who died out there, so yeah, that goes back some time, but it is a very dangerous intersection.
Any other comments from commissioners? Kim Heisler.
I'm not very fond of that either, because I about lost my life there too. And I was just going straight, and there was a car that turned right in front of me, and
Yeah, it does happen, you're
I
right.
about hit like the pine tree in that yard, and they just kept right on going, like it was nothing. So you had mentioned that that's what their option was the roundabout. Did I miss it in here in all this? Does it actually say that's what they recommended? In
They recommend a roundabout?
all this?
Yes,
Because
the
it looked
study
to
is part of
Are you
our
asking for
packet.
conversation, or do you want to use your time?
Well, I'd like to ask my questions first, and then
Go ahead.
I'll still be up here while they're answering in case there's more, but
Sure.
I didn't see where it was a clear, that that's where they had suggested. And rumble strips, I'd strongly suggest that could be a very good short-term thing there, and it's crazy how people just don't even care anymore. And it amazes me how all of a sudden now we're thinking big grandiose things, and it takes something as bringing in big industry to be really concerned about the 66th most important roadway in Ohio to get fixed. I mean, this should have been looked at way before all this other stuff.
It wasn't ours before.
Huh?
It wasn't ours before until we annexed down there.
Oh, right, good point, good point. Yeah, so 4.8 million versus the all-way stop. If I'm reading this right, 24,000, that can't be right. But table 8 says cost estimates, so I'm not sure what that is, but all-way stop says 24,000. Versus, 4.8 million is huge difference, maybe just a little bit of difference in life-saving measures. Okay, you can answer. I'll stay up here until my time.
All right. So they only recommended a roundabout.
So if you'll look within the study, if you grab the study, they have a section called alternatives considered and dismissed, and they go through all the alternatives that they looked at.
What page?
Of the study is page 13. So they go through each of the alternatives. Again, they looked at 5 alternatives, and they went through all of them, and they dismissed 4 of them and left the 5th, which is the roundabout. So to answer your question clearly, yes, the recommendation is the roundabout. That is why we are recommending moving forward with that recommendation, because that is what they believe is the most safe alternative, which is, again, from an engineering perspective, our goal, even though some things cost more money, our goal is to make sure that they are safe, because the safety of our people is the most important, and that's why it's being recommended.
And rumble strips, is that an alternative?
Again, I wouldn't say that anything isn't an alternative. We certainly can look into all those. I will note again, a lot of those roads are not within the city of Piqua, and so we will have to work with our partners to understand what options are available to us in the short term.
Collaborate with the county.
You're stating that we could also raise enough money to make a difference, to make up that 2.4?
I mean, that's absolutely our goal. I do believe as a intersection that is as important as it is, and to Ms. Heisler's point, the study came out in August, right? So we found out about it in August. We were told it's that number. It now has been annexed into the city, and we're working as quickly as we can to make sure that we address it.
Okay, I also wanted to note, on here it says public involvement, and just wanted to make, this is probably the public involvement. Public involvement will be undertaken and public input would be considered prior to advancing to the build alternative. So I understand that expensive roundabout is what they chose, but it's still, up to, what you guys choose. Prior to advancing to the build alternative to detailed design consistent with OD's public involvement guidance. So, okay, that's it, I think. Oh, yes, one other thing. It also says that 2.4 million, it has nothing to do, or the utility relocation costs are not included in that, so it's going to be even way more than 4.8 million.
Okay,
because of
thank
all
you.
of
Your
that,
time's up.
which is-
Go ahead.
Just to clarify, what is actually in front of us. And Kyle, correct me if I'm wrong, but what is before us is you're asking for our approval for you to submit this proposed project to MVRPC to see if they will accept it to receive the 50% match in the funding.
That is correct. We are not engineering, we are not designing, we are not formally approving anything yet. We are asking to see if the funding source is available to us.
And as a result of this, since we have already entered into the hypothetical and what's next, if MVRPC would come back and say, no,
We would either have to find $4.8 million, or we would likely determine that is not a project that we are able to fund.
okay. And you've also mentioned that we do not control, or all of the roads in that intersection are within our city limits. Is that correct? So any of the possible utility abatement or moving,
I'd like to note, there's no utilities there.
That's what-
There's, obviously, in the future, there could be utilities, but it would be hopeful that we would be far enough along in this project to know exactly where this roundabout is, and we would work the utilities around the roundabout. But only out there right now, there's wells and septic. There's no public utilities.
got it. So again, all that's in front of us is the yes or no on whether you can submit the application to see if we can possibly get a 50% match for this project if we decide to move forward with it.
That is correct.
Thank you.
Valerie Mulligan.
First off, I would like to say kudos for finally addressing that intersection. Thank you, because
Name and
that
address,
intersection
please.
is,
Name
I'm
and
sorry,
address, please.
Valerie Mulliken,
Address.
5905 Piqua Clayton. I think you have that on that sheet, yeah?
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nobody else has to do that.
Everybody should do it. That's what's
But
in
you
the
haven't
rule.
required everybody to do that tonight.
Just asked you.
Well, I just
Thank
want to
you.
make note of that,
I'll
okay?
make note that it's in the
Mr.
rules.
Vetter, you said you thought there were rumple strips out there. There are no rumple strips out there. They took those out about 10 years ago when they repaved that intersection. I had a very close call at that intersection too. I think a roundabout is probably the smartest thing that could ever go there. And if you drive north on 235, there is one there where there was an intersection just as dangerous as Farrington and Washington, and they have reduced to no fatalities at that intersection. So I implore you to consider finding the money. I don't care where you got to find it. Please find it. Save a life, because I got news for you. There is no dollar value on a human life. Thank you.
Millie Sheets.
We used to live on a corner of that, Millie Sheets.
Did you?
On South Downey Street.
South
Yeah,
Downey.
we used to live on a corner. We seen a lot of people getting killed there. Plus, they used to have those things that you said that they took it out. They need to put it back. Because if you put a roundabout there, how is the farmers going to get their combines around it? Especially the Amish people will be very mad because they farm that field all the time. So how they're going to get their farm around the roundabout, their equipment? Because they got big equipments. We see them coming down the road when we used to live there. So you might want to
I
think
just want to
about
know, there's a
that.
really cool roundabout in Jamestown, Ohio that has all farmers. It's literally in the middle of nowhere.
Well, I know
They're
them
designed-
Amish people. I know
they're
them Amish
designed-
people well.
Well, they're designed for the width of a vehicle. They will take a combine. Now, again, I will say,
Well,
to your
see,
point,
I talked to Wade Westfall about that too.
sure.
They should have put those back, when they done the roads, they should have put those things back. Because it did save a lot of people's lives when it was out there. But when they took it down, that's when all the accidents was coming. So I don't think the roundabout would be working, especially if they got farm equipments. That's my opinion.
All right, thank you. I can tell you that I'm not happy with the roundabout if we can't pay for it. I don't want to be on the hook for $2.4 million. If we can pay for it, by all means, especially out in that area, because as dangerous as it is. But if we can't afford it, doesn't make sense. And should we afford it? Sure. We should try and find all means possible. And those are good interim steps. I hear what you're saying.
So
That's
to-
my opinion. Go ahead.
To Commissioner DeBros's earlier point, we're not talking about design right now or
No.
engineering. I believe specifically listed out in here was talking about community engagement for what the use case was. So I think stuff like that, where what is the use that's going through that road, that's what would, when we get to the engineering step, were this to continue down the trail, that's where it would be decided, okay, well, it's, not just a roundabout, but a roundabout that can handle the type of equipment trying to go through there.
Like
Point
in
taken.
Jamestown.
And I agree, the rumble strips should be added back, because I feel those are pretty, I don't know, I'm not in roads, but they seem easy enough just to scrape the rumble back out.
Most of rumble strips get removed primarily for maintenance reasons. And again, I can't speak for the county. I don't know why they removed them, but if I had to guess, I would guess that they were removed because they become a nightmare when it comes to plowing snow and things like that. So again, what I will promise is we will go talk to the county and we'll see what is available.
And how long has are parts of this intersection been in the city?
Well, since the annexation of that corner, which occurred in May.
Okay, so very rapid movement on trying to address that as quickly as we took ownership of it. Good job.
And if you're concerned about roundabouts, you need to go to Indiana. I drive to see my cousin north of Indianapolis, and think I go through 6 of them, just on the US 36. So Indiana has made a big thing out of roundabouts, and I don't know how.
Columbus.
Yeah.
Carmel, Indiana is the
Oh, yeah.
center of
Yeah,
that. And
just north
Dublin,
there.
Ohio is doing pretty well as well. So.
Yeah, Dublin. All right, I will take a motion.
Mayor, I'd move that we adopt resolution number R-109-25.
Second?
Moved and seconded. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries, and the reason I said aye, just so I can clarify it, is that if we can't get the money, then we won't have the roundabout. But we should try, at least, to get the safest alternative. Whether I like a roundabout or not, I want what's safe, so. Next on our agenda is resolution number R-110-25.
A resolution authorizing the approval of a new liquor permit to St. Ammon Company, Piqua Mall, 987 East Ash Street, Suite 111, Piqua, Ohio.
This is for a new liquor permit for the address listed. The purpose of this resolution is to see if the commission has any objections to the liquor permit or if they would request a hearing.
What's the name of the actual, I mean, that's the company or the corporation? What's the name of the business that's going out there?
It's called The Social.
The Social. I've seen ads for it. Looks interesting.
Chief?
Yeah, any objection?
There's no objections from the police department.
Thank you, sir.
I thought maybe Bright Now was going to offer a different kind of anesthetic.
Any other comments from commissioners?
No.
Kim Heisler?
I'm amazed how many alcohol places they're getting to be in Piqua. But my question on this is the importance of what we write and the legality of it is huge. How we do one thing is how we do everything. So looking on this resolution says authorizing the approval of a new liquor permit to St. Armand Company. It's actually St. Armand Company LLC. There's one. And then it says Piqua Mall. When has it been called the Piqua Mall? Isn't it called Piqua Center now? So technically, to be legally correct, doesn't it need to say Piqua Center?
Are you talking about on the
It does.
resolution or on the application?
110-25. Well, I'm looking at this.
On the
And then
application?
I think also says that on the staff report.
The application has it listed correctly.
Application says Piqua Mall.
So
Does say,
St. Ammon
The
Co.
resolution
LLC.
says Piqua Mall.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be a typo. I understand what you're saying,
And the application
but it needs
does
to be
say Piqua
accurate.
Mall.
I mean,
How's that
how do you
policy
follow
part?
stuff if it's using something that the name was 15, 20 years ago? How is that even possible to do things legally? I can't go in and make up a name to put in on my official document to buy a house. You can answer that now.
Now? Okay. Paul, 987 East Ash, or Jessica, 987 East Ash is the Piqua Center, is it not?
It is, but on the application, it's listed as Piqua Mall.
And just to clarify, the applicant filled out the application, not the city.
Correct.
So in that case, shouldn't it be like fixed before you guys do any kind of approval?
Well, the application
it
isn't
comes
to
on the
us,
city.
the application is to state liquor, correct?
Yes.
So we're just approving them to send it, whether or not that is received well by the state is not
Want to
on us.
reject it because they got it
But
wrong?
you guys are like the legislative body if you want it to continue incorrectly.
That's not what this is. This is the Ohio Department of Commerce who has forwarded us an application from St. Amman Company LLC to ask if we have any objections to them granting a liquor permit
Right, but
to
the
that
Piqua Mall
entity.
no longer exists.
That's not, this is what the applicant put on their application.
Yeah.
It is not for us to intervene and change what the applicant put on the application. We're not involved in that process. That is purely the applicant.
But it
If you
comes
would
in-
go in and apply for something and make a typo that then comes before us, it's not our job to fix that typo. What happens if we approve this is it goes back to the Ohio Department of Commerce. They then are the ones who will issue the permit, and if there's a typo or a error in the application, it is on the applicant and the Department of Commerce to fix,
I
not us.
understand what you're saying, Frank. But I'm also saying, can't you guys go above and beyond? If I were wanting to get
That's
a
not
liquor
our
license-
role.
Hey,
What
what if
you're
we just put
asking
a
us to-
sticky note on it saying it's now called the Pickle Center? That's the change you want. We could do that. It's not our, but it isn't our position to do that. I hear what Frank's saying.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
To answer Kim, if I were to go in the office over there and snag an envelope and a piece of paper and say, congratulations for your new restaurant, hope to see you guys soon, and fold it in, put it in the envelope, and sent it to St. Amman Co. LLC, and I even put Piqua Mall, and then put 987 East Ash Street, Suite 111, Piqua, Ohio, 45356, they're gonna get it.
I do believe that being a second line on the address
Agreed.
means that it is more of a colloquial address. And while maybe it's not officially the Piqua Mall anymore, it's still
As
well known as that.
As known as.
And that second line on the two of a, mind you, I'm a millennial, so I don't send a lot of letters, but I do believe that second line is very much up for kind of a common parlance signifier, and it's not as important as the street, suite, and city and state signifiers, so.
Do we have any other citizen?
No.
I call for the question.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor of resolution number R-110-25, say aye. Aye. Opposed? None. Guess next on our agenda is the city manager's report.
Good evening, Commission. First on my list is the Piqua Police Department accepting unused prescription drugs. In late October, will be on October 25th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., and that's the DEA Take Back program. In addition to that, we have leaf pickup that'll be commencing this month on the 20th. I would just like to add that residents, please do not put your leaves in the street too early. On a night like tonight, when it rains, wet leaves are really the same as having ice on the road. And when they're dry, small children like to play in leaves, and there's been accidents that have happened when children have been run over by cars that are parking in piles of leaves. And aside from that, on a bright note, tomorrow night, we have our ribbon cutting for the pickleball courts at Pittsburgh, and that will be at 4 o'clock, and we're inviting the public out to enjoy the ribbon cutting. Thank you.
All right. Next is commissioners' comments. We will begin with Commissioner Simmons.
Well, hey, everybody. First, I have to stand up because I have to show off. So
Hero
this
Harvest
last
Fest.
weekend, Val and all the folks at her group they had the Hero Harvest 5K, and we had 70 runners out there.
That's an accurate count due to,
That's an accurate count, dude.
Because-
We had the head of our radio club actually sat out there. He was at the point where they did the turnaround and nap on his phone that was like one of those old clicker. And he's sitting on his phone doing like this. They said there were exactly 70. So anyway, we had a lot of fun, and actually my darling wife went out with me for
Nice.
that. And that's a great segue, because 2.5 years ago, they told us that my wife had 2 to 8 weeks to live. Come Thursday, this Thursday, day after tomorrow, I gotta get a card. She's gonna be 55 years old. God love her. I love you, honey. I'll be home shortly. Anyway, that's all they got.
all right. Commissioner Homan,
No comment tonight.
no comments. Commissioner Vetter,
Thank you. Last commission meeting, we had a person chastise us over the use of undescribed funds, and after asking a couple questions, I believe that person was talking about the Community Development Block Grant Program. I went back to the city and got got the general information about the Community Block Grant Program, and I think several assumptions were made in that presentation that were inaccurate. This is not a program specifically designed for quote-unquote poor people. It has regulations and all kinds of things. And anybody like to see a copy of that, I brought that along tonight to share that with the public. I think we have pretty much wrapped up activities at Lot 9. And I think I'm hoping to receive a complete financial report on the spending for Lot 9. So that'll come at the end of the year. And again, we're also looking for reports for the golf course and for the plaza, so that we can see how those programs are doing, both in terms of use and in terms of financial responsibility. I had city manager and I talked the other night about possible ways that we could expand our spay and neuter program in the city. And it really boils down to, we need to have trained volunteers who can help learn to operate that program and then put it in place. We obviously have other places in the city where we think we have pockets of unneutered, unspayed cats, and that's something we're looking for. So if you're a person that thinks you'd like to volunteer to do that, I think we'd be interested in hearing from you on that part. I think that's the last of my comments. Thank you. I yield.
wow. Commissioner, sorry, Commissioner, you're up. DeBras.
Well, I had planned to yield back my time. However, I am going to ask my colleague Commissioner Vetter if he would entertain a motion from me to insert into the record the information he has regarding the community development block grants.
I would appreciate that.
Mayor,
I would second that.
I would like to make a motion to include the information that Commissioner Vetter has regarding the community development block grant into the record of this meeting.
You can do that.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
It will be entered into the record.
I now yield back.
You know, yield back, okay. I don't have many comments, other than that the new pickleball courts will be, there will be a ribbon cutting tomorrow at 4. I know my boss is, where I work at, is very excited. He lives in Covington and will come to Piqua. As a matter of fact, his wife will be at the ribbon cutting tomorrow. So I better find a good excuse if I'm not at the ribbon cutting. But looking forward to it. It's going to bring a lot of people and up to Pittsburgher Park, especially with leagues and whatnot going on there. It's a good thing. I'm very, very happy. I'm going to talk Lehman football is, I think they're 7-0 now. 7-1, 6-1. They lost.
East got him.
Huh?
My East got him.
Yeah, well, at least they're winning, so. If Piqua would have beat Troy, I wouldn't have had that horrible picture of me,
Troy
wearing a Troy shirt. That shirt's in my car right now. I use it to clean bugs off, sorry, Mayor. Mayor Hines, I'm sorry about that. And as most of you know, I did not elect to run again for my ward. So my term will be up at the end of December. There are 3 candidates that I know of that are running for my ward, and they're all running away from Homan's ward because he couldn't find anybody to run in his ward. But please do your research, look at each of them, talk to them. They're willing. They're going on podcasts. If you, what's the name of the sheets? What's it called? Pulling back the sheets. If you get a chance to look at that, one of the candidates has been on there. He did it. You're going to have the second one on. I saw.
On Thursday, and I got another one on.
Oh my gosh. So, well, that's good. So it's a local podcast talking about a lot of local things that are going on. Jim's doing a really good job. His wife's on there for color commentary. For the most part, if you could throw something at her through the internet, you might want to do that, but he would. But you will learn a lot about each and every one of the candidates. He does a good job. Go talk to them. They're all listed, and make a good choice. So, and that's what it's all about. So, other than that, I've got nothing else, and I need a motion to adjourn. And
Commissioners, I apologize. Before you adjourn, was there the third item on the consent agenda, the proclamation, was there something that needed to be read?
No.
Regarding that, okay, thank you.
I said that earlier, so no, thank you.
Mayor, I
Motion to
move that
adjourn.
we adjourn.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are now in non-agenda public comment.
2-minute potty break?
Yeah, 2-minute potty break.